What's up guys, Robin here, and today we're talking about what is the best way to learn how to dance. Should I learn for free on YouTube? Should I go to a studio and take some group classes? Should I try private lessons? Should I try an online course? When does that make sense? A lot of you might be thinking, obviously, face-to-face is always best, but there's some downsides to that as well. So we're going to compare all the different ways to learn how to dance, talk about the pros and cons of each, and then I'm going to give some recommendations on what I'd do if I was starting all over again. We're going to compare the different options across various categories and use the following point system. 0 points means it didn't do well in that category. 1 point means it did pretty good. 2 points means it did great. Quick side note, because there's a variety of online course options out there and everyone does them a little bit differently, we're going to talk specifically about our approach to online courses and what we offer at the Dance Dojo. First up, we have the social factor. And let's take a look at YouTube. There's nothing really inherently social about YouTube. You're essentially browsing a search engine of videos, but you're not interacting with anyone in any meaningful way. So for that, this gets 0 for social factor. Group classes. Now, group classes, this is where they really shine. You get to go there, have fun, meet new people, dance with a variety of partners. This is one of the strengths of group classes, and for that reason, give it 2 points. For private lessons, they're similar to a group class, except scaled down. You're not practicing with a bunch of other people, but because you are still there face-to-face with the instructor, we're gonna give it 1 point. Now, moving on to online lessons, similar to YouTube, there's nothing inherently social about it. When you watch an online class, you don't necessarily have a partner there, or there's no partner provided from the studio. So because of that, we're gonna give online lessons a 0. Next category, we have quality and detail of instruction. So on YouTube, we have huge variability here. There's a million different videos with a million different teachers or hobbyists or even beginners. So most aren't very good. The details are usually quite lacking, and the top instructors out there usually aren't putting out their best material for free because they offer paid online courses. With group classes, again, the quality varies with your instructor and you're usually limited to the instructors in your geographical area, but you're almost guaranteed to get a little bit better of an experience than YouTube. The quality will probably be higher because it's a richer learning experience and you're bound to get more detail because you can ask questions in person. So for this, group classes get 1 point. Now, next up, we have private lessons. Because you're doing a private class, chances are you've chosen an instructor that's quite good. The level of instruction is going to be higher. The amount of detail you're going to get in that 1 hour private lesson is going to be superb. Private classes get 2 points here. With paid online courses, you're not constrained to your geographical region, so you can find the best instructors in the world and take lessons directly from them. So the quality is going to be extremely high, and you can often go into so much more detail than you can in face-to-face classes because there's no time constraints. So for this reason, online lessons get 2 points here. Next category, we have organization and progression of lessons. First up, YouTube. Again, here the options are endless and nothing is really organized into any meaningful learning path that's going to help you progress from beginner to advanced. For that reason, YouTube again gets 0 points. With group classes, assuming they're well run and organized, they're definitely a step above YouTube in the fact that there's usually a progressive option for these classes. Now, we don't recommend taking one-off drop-in classes because they lack that progressive aspect. Now, one downside of the group classes is you typically don't have a visual understanding of the learning journey and your progressions. There's very few instructors that explain, you're here today, this is where you're going to go, and these are the steps along the way. If they do, that's great, but usually they don't, and because of that, we're going to give just 1 point here. With private classes, you can learn anything you want, ask unlimited questions, and you get direct one-on-one coaching. So because it's so customizable to your desires and learning goals, private classes get top marks here. Now, in an online course, unlike the group classes, you can actually see where you're at, where you want to go, and all the steps along the way. And things are usually organized by type of lesson and skill level, so you can browse them freely and see what there is. Now, this is hugely important and helpful for improving because when you know all the different parts of a dance and you can see them, then you see how they all come together. So because of that, online courses get 2 points. Next category, we have a volume of lessons. Now with YouTube, although they might not be the highest quality lessons out there, the amount of them is endless, almost to a point of overwhelm. So for this, they get 2 points. Now, group classes are usually organized in 1 to 3 month sessions, and because of that, you can only cover a certain amount of material, and that's definitely a lot less than you can with online lessons. Group classes get 1 point. Now, with private lessons, you're even further constrained by time, usually only a 1-hour lesson. You can't cover a lot of material, so for private classes, we're gonna give 0 points here. With an online course, the opposite is true. You can get so many more lessons and so much more variety than you can with an offline option like group classes or private lessons. And that's because there's no more time constraints. An instructor can film a lesson and upload it whenever they want. And the plus side, because the options aren't endless, it's way less overwhelming than YouTube. So here we give 2 points for online courses. Next category, we have feedback. And on YouTube, you definitely don't get any feedback unless it's from internet trolls, and they're definitely not going to say anything nice. So 0 points for YouTube here. With group classes, beyond the social factor, this is easily one of the biggest benefits of them. You can touch people's hands, you can feel how they move, you can ask instructors questions. So if you want to get started off on the right foot and get immediate answers to your questions, group classes are perfect. So for this, they get 2 points. Similarly, in a private class, you're going to get that immediate feedback, but it's a step above because all the coaching is completely customized and personal to you. So because of that, 2 points here. With an online course, the feedback you're able to get is going to vary depending on the course, but at the very least, you're usually able to write in and ask a question or post it in a Facebook group to get an answer. Because it's not quite as good as offline lessons, we give 1 point here. Next category, convenience and accessibility. Now, YouTube is incredible here. Everything is organized, indexed, and searchable. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. Google's #1, YouTube's #2. Google owns YouTube. Funny how that happens. So the effect that YouTube has had on the world on dance is absolutely incredible. So for accessibility, 2 points. Now, for both group classes and private lessons, because they're in person and require you to be there face to face, they might conflict with your schedule. They might be geographically far away from you, so it depends where you live. And so because of that, it's quite variable and it's not as convenient or accessible as online lessons. For that reason, just 1 point here. With online courses, you get an on-demand library of lessons at your fingertips. You can learn what you want, when you want, not just during class hours, and you can do it on any device. That's pretty incredible. So it's essentially like having an encyclopedia of lessons you can access whenever you want. So if normally you're taking a class and you forget a detail, well, with online lessons, you can just go back and rewatch the lessons as much as you want, in slow motion or sped up. It's essentially 21st century learning at its finest. For that, 2 points here. Next category is cost. Now this one holds a very special place in my heart because my friends actually have a nickname for me and they call me Top Value. So finding good value for money is super important to me. So YouTube is free, which is amazing. So here YouTube gets 2 points. With group classes, you typically have 2 options. A drop-in class for about $15 to $20 US per class, or signing up for a month of classes, which might be somewhere from $80 to $100 for just 4 classes a month. So that's 1 per week. So it's significantly more expensive than YouTube. For this, only 1 point. Now, private lessons are similar, but they're even more expensive. They're going to be $80 to $100+ US per hour. And so for that reason, private classes get 0. With online courses, they're typically offered in 2 ways, a monthly subscription or an upfront payment. The monthly subscriptions usually start around $27 a month, and the upfront payment for lifetime access can be anywhere from $150 to $500. Now that might sound expensive, but if you think about it, because you're getting lifetime access, you can just split that cost up over the time that you use the lessons. So instead of doing group classes for a couple months, for the same price, you can get lifetime access to online lessons, get a much larger volume of lessons. So in essence, it's better value for money. And because of that, we give it 2 points here. So let's take a look at the final scores. In last place, we have YouTube coming in with 6 points. In third, we have private classes with 8 points. In second, we have group classes with 9 points. And in first place, we have online courses with 11 points. Now, I totally wasn't expecting this and it wasn't planned at all, but if you look at the online versus offline options, they've tied with 17 points each. And this is pretty cool because it just goes to show that each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Offline options are great for that rich face-to-face human social experience, and online options can offer more material, deeper details, and the ability to rewatch lessons at your own pace. So based on everything we just talked about, here's my personal opinion on how you can use the strengths of each to optimize your learning. If you're a total beginner, I definitely recommend starting with group classes. They're fun, they're social, you can meet new people, and then you can decide if you enjoy the dance or not. And if you're super keen, you can always add the online course option to practice more in between classes. If you already have some experience, I definitely recommend combining the group class with the online course option, because then you can get the best of both worlds. If you're on a budget, think about your preferences and choose one or the other, but ideally you blend the two. And if you don't have access to good instructors nearby, you travel a lot, or you have a lot of scheduling conflicts, an online course could be your best option. And for private classes, like I said, use them sparingly, use them when you need them, when you're feeling stuck, because they're definitely the most expensive. So there you have it, guys. We stacked online versus online options beside each other. Hopefully this helped to give you a better idea of how to decide what option will work best for you. If online courses sparked your interest, definitely check out our salsa and bachata courses at thedancedojo.com. We'd love to help you on your journey. If you want to keep watching, there's some more videos popping up here. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.